GE was at one point, which was, the ultimate conglomerate, the ultimate industrial company with a huge financial arm attached to it. I mean, basically, GE took its AAA rating and attached an unregulated financial business to it, which was a brilliant move at the time. Why not leverage your ability to get access to cheap credit in an unregulated way and go to town with it? And basically, that's where I started my career on Wall Street, was at GE Capital, financing LBOs, and it was a machine. But, Jack built that up.
Was it smoke and mirrors, though?
No, it wasn't smoke and mirrors, but it did result in a 40 PE for an industrial company, which was clearly not sustainable, right? And so whether, Jeff Immelt should have said, in 2001, don't forget, he took over 4 days before 9/11. So he was faced with 9/11. And that would have been actually a perfect time, once they had gotten through that, to say, hey, you know what? Right. This isn't sustainable at 40 PE. We need to do this, this, and this. But, that wasn't his style. Jeff's a big marketing guy, very personable, a great salesman.
If you have any sympathies in this situation, where do your sympathies lie?
My sympathies lie. I mean, my sympathies lie with, trying to figure out what happened here. I feel like Hercule Poirot. There's a dead body on the ground, and what happened here? I mean, if you believe Steve Tusa, who, frankly, is the axe in the stock, if I can use that expression, he's been covering this company for 13 years. He basically started covering it, when Immelt took over. I mean, the guy has been right.
Hey, Bill, so I was there from 91 on.
I know.
So I understand what was going on.
And I was there from 87.
Right. So let me just ask you one question. The deals that Immelt did, starting with Amersham, he did a lot of them.
Yes, he did.
Was there a single?
So did Jack.
I know.
Yeah.
Jack might have bought low and sold high, though.
That may be a big difference.
Was there a single deal that Immelt did where he either didn't overpay for what he was acquiring or get less than what it was worth for what he was selling? Can you name a single one? I mean, go all the way through the oil and gas, go through power, go through NBC, go through Amersham. And that's one question. Number two,
use Alstom. Yeah.
I heard anecdotal evidence that just in the trenches that Siemens ate our lunch on medical imaging and that our stuff didn't work anymore or wasn't nearly as good as that. Maybe, it still worked, but I heard there were quality issues and Six Sigma went by the wayside. And I've heard so many different things.
When Immelt was there?
Yeah. Well, Immelt was there.
I think all of that, Joe. I do. I don't think. I haven't studied yet all of the acquisitions that Jeff made.
You haven't done that yet?
Not yet. Can you believe that? But certainly the bigger ones that we all know about, he bought too high, paid way too much for Alstom.
Talking about
Baker Hughes at the
Alstom,
yeah, right. And sold NBC.
Didn't he go into subprime and right before the crash in a big way over in
big time in subprime, financing themselves in the commercial paper market.
I heard the real estate portfolio was much bigger than it was before.
Hey, Jack, look, the tail on the long-term health that John Flannery took, a $10 or $15 billion write-down 6 to 8 months in.
Does anyone get in serious trouble?
Problem.
Does anyone get in serious trouble because of the accounting stuff?
Well, we have the Justice Department looking at it. We have the SEC looking at it.
In your view?
I've heard the fraud word, yes. I've heard that F word, yes. But whether or not it pans out, I don't know.
It was the power business, you mean?
Well, or the liabilities attached to the long-term care business. What did they know? Okay. And what did they know? When did they know? And when did they know it? What did they know? They've taken a $15 billion write-down so far. I've heard that could be as much as $30 billion.
But the question comes down to: is it an ineptitude or is it out?
Bill, the way I used to explain it back then, there was Westinghouse and GE. I was a stockbroker in the late '80s. Yep. Westinghouse and GE look very similar. Westinghouse went by the wayside. GE went from $1 billion. I don't know what Jack had, $9 billion in revenue when he started. It went to $300 billion. It was the envy of everyone.
Everybody.
Of everyone. Now, I don't know whether there was legacy issues that Immelt came at, but to ask whether it's Welch or Immelt, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know how it's even in the same universe of questions.
The only question is, Jack, as we know, was a master of quarterly reporting.
Did he manage the business or manage the earnings?
He certainly managed the business, and he inspired people.
That's his answer to that.
Correct.
But it always looked like
a lot of people think he managed the earnings.
There were a couple pennies left if you needed them.
Taking them out of the real estate portfolio, GE Capital. GE Capital was a candy store.
Let's spin this story forward, though. You look at the new CEO, who I said was going to be on at 9 o'clock. Your sympathies are with him, I think, perhaps. But What do you think
He's
going
got
to
a
happen?
tough hand.
What do you think this is going to happen to this company? When you see, by the way, J.P. Morgan downgrade that stock to $6.
Well, and more to the point, Steve Tusa said it's got $100 billion. The bear case scenario, as he calls it, has $100 billion of debt and no free cash flow. That does not sound like a good.
So how brave do you have to be to buy in right now?
Very, very brave.
So you don't think that's an easy call?
No, I don't think it's an easy call, because I think there are potentially hidden liabilities that have not yet come out. More of the same. This long-term health care is a big issue. Okay, they've taken $15 billion to write down. There's more coming potential. I think the problems in the power business, to me, to take a $22 billion write-off on a business that still exists, and there are still billions of people on the planet.
What should I do with my options that are strike price 43 that didn't get replaced by management?
Sell them. Go outside here and sell them.
What did Tryon and Nelson Peltz miss? We got to go.
$1.5 billion flushed down the toilet. They missed the big hidden liabilities.